Hey guys, welcome to Seize Your Mind, the podcast about soccer, mental toughness, and life. This is your host, Brandon Stone, and I have with us special guest, Kevin Kwarteng, a good friend of mine from London, England. Kevin played in high school at Highgate Wood in London. He also played for Leyton Orient. He played college at Rogers State University in Claremore. And then he went on to play pro in Australia. He started at Mazenod and then dropped down to a league to help Boroondara Eagles win the championship. And this would have been his second season, but we're on pause for Corona. So, Kevin, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being on the show.
Anytime.
You and I have been good friends for a while now, about 4 or 5 years maybe?
Five,
Something like that, yeah. So I've watched Kevin play many games and have even worked individually with Kevin on some mental stuff. But I want to just kind of learn how you got to where you are now. And so what was it like in London learning to play soccer, and what got you interested in the sport?
Cool. So originally I wanted to be a basketballer, but in London everyone used to say if you're not American you'll never be a basketballer. So my cousins played football, soccer. So I used to play with them all the time basically, and because I was the smallest, I learned different attributes from them just because my age group didn't really play tactically. They just kicked around. So I got started through my cousins basically.
Playing basketball.
Basketball changed to soccer because, yeah.
And then changed to soccer, okay. So what made you really fall in love with it?
I don't know. Basically, when I used to play soccer, I just felt at peace, if that made sense. Just kicking it, learning new skills, team bonding stuff, and then scoring.
Goals.
Scoring. That was the icing on the top, I think. It was just playing, then you score a goal. It might be the match winner, it might be a goal that equalizes, and it was just oh my God, I was made to do this, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. When did you realize that not only were you kind of better than a lot of the people you're playing with, but were also realized that you can, if you put your mind to it, you can get really good?
Oh, I think when I was 12, around about 12, I started noticing that I was quicker than most people, more physical than most people, and when I was playing in high school equivalent, loads of people were just coming out to watch me, parents, other students, and I was at the time I didn't know what it was. I was just thinking, oh, my team's good, we're winning, but they came out for me. So I think around 12ish is when I realized that, hey, I'm actually good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's great. So you already had a following from a young age.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
So what was it like playing in high school?
Oh, high school was the fun days. Really fun. I had a great team. 3 of them now are actually pros. So it was just fun just because most of us went to school before high school together. So we knew each other already. So it was really fun. I loved away trips because we used to be able to get out of school early to go play other teams. But high school was fun. I enjoyed out of everywhere. I think high school was always my peak for fun, just because there was pressure, but at that time, you're just playing with your best friends. So,
you're just having fun.
Yeah, like, and that was the time of like Ronaldinho and all of them. So you're just like on the soccer pitch, try to do skills with your friends, basically. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, everyone's just like, oh my God, like, look, like, it was just, yeah, it was fun. That's just fun.
Can you remember your favorite goal that you scored in high school?
Oh, my favorite goal. I played Highgate Wood. It was versus Greg City Academy, which was our local team. Um, and basically, I didn't score the winner, but I scored the equalizer that took us to overtime. And all it was a simple cross and a header. But I don't header. That's my one downfall. I don't header. So I don't know where it came from. My friend crossed it and I just ran to the ball and just went doom. I closed my eyes. I didn't even know where it's but it went in and like when it went in, everyone's like, he scored a header and I was just like, oh my God. So like for me, that was gonna be like that was like my first header. So to me, that was like my always treasured memory. So yeah, that's my.
So normally you would have just like trapped it and brought it down.
Yeah, like normally try to do a volley, chest it down or like anything, but I don't know, something said header, so I just went, just went in.
Nice, nice. And then you also played with Leighton Orient for a little bit.
Yeah, I was at Leighton Orient.
Explain for those who are here in the States and grew up here in the States, like myself, explain like the difference between that team and your high school team. Like, was that like a club?
Yeah.
Explain to.
So Leighton Orient is your equivalent of a club. So like
your Chelsea, your Man U.
Yeah. So equivalent Oklahoma Energies, something like that.
Okay.
So, something like that. So Leighton Orient at the time was League One. They had the first team, second team reserve, youth team, and then ages between 8 up to 16. So I joined Leighton Orient when I was 13. Then obviously got accepted into the youth team, which was sad but happy at the same time because when you're 16 in London, basically you get reassessed, revalued, and basically it's like you have meetings with them and be like, oh, you are going to continue playing for us, or we're sorry, we don't think you're as good or what we're looking for. You can go to other teams or blah, blah, blah. So I was there until I was 17 instead of 18 for other reasons that we might get into. But Leighton Orient was much, I realized that soccer was more than just a hobby. It was going to be like your life, like your actual life. It was kind of stricter, you know. I never had the high school elements of just, this is always fun. It was more personal, like a loss was more personal because it meant a bit more because of the structure of that organization.
Gotcha. You mentioned to me off camera before that you learned a lot of the mental stuff with that team.
Yes.
Explain that to me. What was that like?
So if you know me, I'm kind of a hothead from time to time. And sometimes I get really passionate in games, right? And my emotions will take over and I'll try to control it, but like it's just one thing after another, and I just lose it. So when I was at Leighton Orient, you always get a mentor. So my mentor was Kevin Nisby, first team, all great, I guess. And he basically always told me that, remember why you started playing. You didn't play for the fame, the money. You played because it was fun. That's what soccer was about, was for being fun. So we done loads of exercises like yoga, stress balls, and like it helped, but nothing helped until he told me that. He said, whenever you're getting angry and all of that, just step back and just be like, this is supposed to be fun. That's why you're playing it. So that really helped.
And when you're angry, it's not very fun.
Yeah, yeah. When I'm angry, it's not very fun, but I tried to control it over the years. So yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So just kind of remember that time as a child when you started and first fell in love with it is basically what he was saying.
Because that actually helps a lot. Like, I know it's like simple words and that, but sometimes, you know, when you get fixated on one thing, you lose the actual reason why you got into it. You know, it wasn't because you wanted to be the best or blah, blah, blah. It was fun at the time, just kicking the ball with your friends. It bonded people. So sometimes I feel like the game gets put on a pedestal because of how many people get involved with it, but it is fun. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be fun. So yeah, for anyone out there who gets angry like me, just remember, like, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun anyways.
Yeah, there's a saying, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
So then you ended up at Rogers State University in Claremore. How did that happen from London?
So I went to we call it a college or a sixth form in London. So after high school, we don't go straight to university. We have either 2 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 1 year, but my one was 2 years. And it's either called a sixth form or college. I went to a sixth form. At the time, they were called Rushcroft Sixth Form. And funny enough, Ellis's dad was my coach.
For those listening, Ellis was another player that played from England that played at Rogers State.
Yeah. So Ellis's dad was my coach, and he teamed up with a guy called Brett and Mark, who actually owns Starbridge Sports. And basically, they're a company that allows aspiring athletes, or soccer players, I should say, to continue their journey abroad in America. So I was playing, doing very well. They were very interested in me and other players. And at the time, Scotty Parkinson and Derek Larkin were the coaches. And Scotty actually played with Brett because Brett was actually an RSU student a long time ago. And basically they were like, we have this kid who I believe is the right fit for the team. So after I was playing, obviously they want to see proof, so videos and all of that. And basically one thing led to another. And 2015, I got on a flight to Oklahoma, Claremore, Oklahoma.
I was about to ask, what was it like getting on that airplane?
You know what? Derek Larkin and Scotty are great advertisers because I saw a brochure for the university and all that, and I thought that I was going to be in paradise, which I was, but it was like, you know, like when something's so amazing, you don't even think about anything else. That was me for literally 6 months. And it was weird
before even going there.
Yeah, because Claremore, as everyone knows, is the middle of nowhere. Only now it's starting to be developed. I came in 2015, so we never had no Chick-fil-A or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a crazy experience for me because I was going by myself. Obviously I do stuff by myself, like playing with teams and going, but like it was actually just me. So it was crazy. I came with my sister because I just had to. I couldn't come by myself, but I was initially going by myself. Then my sister tagged along. She like sent me off and all that, you know, dramatics. It was a surreal experience, very surreal. One moment I was in London, next minute I'm asleep, wake up and I'm catching a flight to a place that I've never been before. Like none of my family's been to Claremore before, so I don't know, but I trusted Derek Larkin, I trusted Scotty, I trusted Brett, and I just took a leap of faith. And I'm very,
Awesome.
very grateful I did.
Do you remember your very first game for RSU?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I forgot who it was, but I remember I came in and every single tackle or shielding action, I got either a caution or a foul against the opposition team. And it really frustrated me because in
They're
London,
calling it against you?
against me saying I was fouling the other team.
Okay.
So shoulder to shoulders, shielding, everything was called against me. And it's because I was bigger. I feel like I was bigger, but it was also because soccer in London, soccer in America is way different.
Yes.
So it was a wake up call that so everyone I have to put this out this. Every Londoner comes into this whole process of coming to America to play soccer as I'm going to be the best there. I feel like everyone does. And you get a rude awakening because I believe that America is on the path to becoming as good or even better just because of the so many internationals that come in and help out the system. So my first game, very frustrating, like very, very frustrating, but I also appreciate it because I realized I couldn't do what I was doing back in London. I couldn't just be physical and rely on my natural strengths, I call it.
Yeah.
So we actually, I think we won that game, but it was no help for me. It was no help for me. But that was a frustrating game, but I really liked it because it showed me and it like made me say, you have to change your game style.
You have to evolve.
Yeah. That season was that season. It's like yesterday.
So how much better were you at on your second game?
Second game was better. I did not get no cards against me, and I made, I think, 1 or 2 fouls, but it wasn't like
every single one.
Yeah, so it was way, way, way better. Way better. I liked it.
You adjusted quickly.
Yes, had to. I had loads of expectations, so had to.
Cool. So you're RSU for 4 years.
Yep. True freshman, they call it.
True freshman. What was your favorite goal at RSU you scored? I think I know which one it is, but I'll let you tell the story.
My favorite goal was my first ever goal for RSU.
Okay.
It came later in the season of my freshman year, which I'd given up hope that I was ever going to score. Honestly, given up hope. I'd done everything in my power to score. Like, I think 2 games before, I went around the keeper and I missed. And then I gave up hope. And then Mitchell, Niall, Timmy, they were like, you will score. Just let everything go and you will score. And it was home and we had a breakaway. And running by myself, and I caught the ball on my left foot. Defender goes past me, take a touch, and I just curled it back post. And you recorded it. I don't know if...
Was it the one where you were like falling?
Yeah, the one I was
backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
And I don't know. In that moment, it was like, I don't know, magical. It sounds so cliche and stuff, but when you look back at it and all of that, it's just magical. It was like written in the stars, as people say, you know. And it was like the video got recorded. It went viral back in my hometown, and it was just it was a great feeling just because I scored my first goal, but it was the reactions of other people. Like so many other people started messaging me like, "Oh my God," and like,
It was a beautiful goal in his
yeah.
defense.
So
It really was.
and it was funny because the commentator was like Kevin Kwarteng, and like that was everyone's thing, like Kwarteng, Kwarteng, Kwarteng. So I don't know, it was amazing. Like I liked it. It was just
That's great. One thing that's important is that you mentioned is how important your teammates can be and how important it is for, obviously they did that to you, but you got to do the same thing back to
yeah,
your teammates.
yeah, yeah. Soccer is a team sport, and I know as the years has evolved, so many people believe that it's just about them, or like if they're better than the rest of the team, that they carry the team and all of that. But in reality, it's not. Soccer is not won by one person, because that one person can't get the ball and go past every single player and score and keep doing it and keep doing it. It's your team, from your staff and coaches, physios, to get you right, coaches telling you what to do, blah, 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 to your goalkeeper, your defenders, midfielders, strikers. Like soccer is actually a team sport. And then you have your fans, which when things get tough, they lift you up too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Were you known as the guy who would encourage others on your teammate, or were you kind of more quiet and reserved? And when you this is when both at RSU and in Australia after you went pro.
I believe I was a bit of both, just depending on the situation. Like I always had to assess every situation different, because okay, for example, my sophomore year, there was a freshman that came in. I won't name his name so he doesn't get embarrassed. But he came in thinking that it was going to be easy to. He was an American. And he had to change positions just because high school, American high school and American college is very different. He wasn't ready to be the position he wanted to be, but the team needed him to be a different position for the team. So he was very against it, and I had to sit with him and just be like, hey, I understand that you already had the plan coming in here, because I did too. However, sometimes you just have to trust the process and do something for the team. Because I always used to say to people, and I say it to my high school kids now, is it's not, oh, so-and-so won. It's your school won or your school lost. So if you don't want to help the team, it won't be, oh, you didn't. It'll be the team's fault. It's always the team's fault. It's never just a single person. So I would like to say sometimes I'm encouraging. So on the pitch when I'm playing, I'll try to do that extra tackle. I'll try to be like, RSU's ball, blah, 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 just to like uplift people. But I can also spot individuals that might need a bit extra. So I try to be both.
So about what you were saying just a second ago, so you win as a team, but you also lose as a team.
Yeah. It's not individual. There's no I in team.
Nice. So after you graduated RSU, tell me about the process of going pro.
Ooh. So, Masnod, they was actually, so there was a guy who represented Masnod. He used to play for them. And then obviously when you get old, you have to retire at some point, which he did. And he became a scout. And he was basically looking around, and he knew Brett again. they were very close, and Brett said, I have a striker, and I know you guys need a striker. Do you want to take a look? And he said, okay, let me take a look. So he basically saw my videos. After my season was done, he contacted me through Brett and was basically like, hey, we're very interested in you. What would we have to do to get you over, basically? So obviously, first thing, everything can be an NCAA violation. So you go to your coach, and your coach sorts it all out. So obviously, went to Derek Larkin, and spoke to him about it, and he was basically like, "You don't get this opportunity all the time, you know. So you have to do what's right for you, but you also have to graduate." That was the most important thing for my coach. So he was basically like, if you start the process of saying you want to go pro in Australia, if there's barriers in your way that can't be moved, then it's a sign. However, if the barriers are movable, but it will take work and that, then that's also a sign. So that was his complicated way of saying, I think you should go for it. So once I basically told everyone, because I knew for a week before I started telling people, because you don't want to jinx stuff and all of that. So
right.
I had to basically take steps into going, and the steps were kind of hard because no one tells you about like immigration stuff and visas and all of that growing up. So I had people willing to help me, which was very helpful. So the steps were, from a scale from 1 to 10, probably like a 6. But I feel like if no one helped me, it'll probably be like 100 because
Right.
it's so complicated. So the process was very easy. It was basically one person recommended me, another person willing to give me a chance, going to see me, liking what he saw, and then basically coming to me saying, hey, we want you. What can we do to get you here? And then the rest was basically down to me.
Cool. So what was it like getting on the plane to go to Australia?
Woo! 26 hours flight from Tulsa to New Zealand, from New Zealand to Melbourne, Australia. It was long.
At what point during that flight do you just like pinch yourself and is like, is this real? Am I
The
really
whole
playing
time.
pro?
The whole time. I was getting on the flight, and it kind of gave me a flashback for me going to America for the first time to come college. So it was like, I've been here before, and that gave me a smile. But then it was like, but you haven't. So you do your pinches, you do your splash water in your face and all of that. But then you also say to yourself that you're ready. I've done my 4 years of college soccer at a high level. We played great teams, So again, I was just like, I'm ready, sort of thing. Like, not everyone gets this chance. So it's like, what are you going to do with it? So, after the whole pinching, calling your mom, like, hey, mom, hey, mom, you kind of like have to like, not grow up, but like kind of like, okay, like what's the next move, sort of thing. And I feel like that's what I done, and so when we went to New Zealand, it was a bit like then talk to yourself again. Then when you went to the big, so it was a funny experience, I should say.
Tell me about arriving to the club the first time, walking in on that pitch.
Oh, that was okay. So got off the plane, and I had this guy, kind of big, shades on, nice car, had my name out, and I was just like, you know, when you look around, you're like, that's for me. so obviously you have to act professional. You know, you're like in your head, you're like, oh my god, you have to act professional.
Did you do this number?
nah, just you just looked around, like made eye contact with like a random and be like, that's me. Okay. So obviously walked up to him, he introduced himself. He was like, the club's really happy to finally meet you in person, blah blah blah. Then they took me out to eat. So after they took me out to eat, they were like, are you tired? If you're not, we can like go see like the other people, the training facilities, blah, blah, blah. I was tired, but not tired because my flight was so long. But like so much excitement, I knew I wasn't going to go to sleep. So I was just like, I want to go see the facility. So I went and saw the training ground, which was pretty awesome. Like pretty awesome. They trained on Astro, and they also had the grass pitch, but they liked the Astro pitch. So I went there, I saw the weight room, I met the other people on the board and stuff. I met the president the next day, but I like spoke to him on the phone and stuff. And it was just like, you see FIFA, the little gameplay mode, and like it felt a bit like that, which obviously I wasn't complaining, but it was just like, now it's like, oh my God, you're here. There's no turning back. Like there's literally no turning back. And again, I felt by myself again because I went by myself this time. But the process on their behalf was amazing. Like they really settled me in.
Did you feel right at home from the get-go, or did it take some adjusting?
It took some adjusting because I had the great bond with my RSU people, but most of them were rooting for me, or all of them were rooting for me. So like I kind of had to dive in that. So they made me feel at home, but I didn't necessarily feel right at home like in the first couple of moments because the boys have been together and I was like the new kid. So yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it didn't take you long to...
No, I scored on my first debut.
Did you?
I scored and assisted on my first debut. It was a cup game. It took me, how long did it take me? I think it was like 67th minute or something like that to score. Then 69th minute or 70th minute, something to assist. Then.
Walk me through that goal. What was that first goal like?
Pressure was lifted. That's like, once I scored, it was like this whole pressure just went, whew. Like, and it was like simple.
Like you proved yourself.
Yeah, because it was like head coach was there, other players were there, the opposition team kind of knew about me because like they made it a big deal. So it was like everyone was expecting something. You know, they were expecting something. Like you can't just be the new kid and just walk in and no one notice you. So there was a guy called Hammer who I clicked with just like that. He plays a bit like Jordan Watson. So I envisioned Jordan when I was playing with him, which kind of sounds weird, but it worked for me and it got me a goal and assist. So nothing spectacular. Long ball over, set it. We play a 1-2, up my run, keeper comes out, slide it near post. That was it. That was literally it. But it was...
So you lived up to the hype. Yeah. There was a lot of hype. Yeah. You were worried about not scoring and not living up to the hype. But so once you'd scored.
Yeah, once I scored, I became a bit like, I'm here now. all is well. I'm here. So yeah.
And that's interesting that what you said about envisioning Jordan. That's actually a pretty smart technique. You didn't even realize you're doing. Just like would probably make someone who's just getting to a new team, if they, see different players with similar characteristics to guys that are friends that they're used to playing with. If they envision, like, you know, use their mind and imagination to just envision like you're back at home,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll play better.
Yeah, that helps a lot. It really does. But I didn't at the time I didn't like see what I was doing. I just feel like it just came natural. Just because I think it was more so because they really played alike. So I was just like, "Hey, Jordan." So yeah. Lucky I didn't call him Jordan though.
One of your greatest qualities as a player is your ability to protect the ball.
Yeah.
That I've noticed, at least. How did you develop that skill, and what advice can you give to someone who's trying to learn to protect the ball better, to be even better at it?
Oh, so do you want to know how I like developed that skill?
Yeah.
As I said, I learned playing soccer through my cousins, and where I grew up, we didn't all have like a field or back garden, so we had cages, which was basically concrete and metal walls, basically. So we played there, and when you play cage football, there's no referees. The referees are basically the players. So if they deemed it as a foul, they'll call it. If they did not, get on with it. So I hit the ground a lot because I'm playing with older guys. So I hit the ground a lot, and basically it got me tougher, but also got me like, you need to be stronger than the other person, because I hate going on the ground and like raising my knee and stuff like that. So that was just how I started. And then how I started, because obviously cage football, some elements can transfer to actual football or soccer. Sorry, I keep going between
No,
two.
football is fine.
When I went to like Leighton Orient and other my high school and Rushcroft, you can't do cage football because obviously there's a referee now. So if they see you barging the guy not shoulder to shoulder, you're going to get called against you. So Leighton Orient, I think, is the way. Our coach, he was somewhat of a perfectionist. So if he saw something and it wasn't right, he'll pause the whole drill and be like, that's not the correct way. This is how you do it. So when I came with raw cage football stuff. So I'm out here just trying to barge everyone like a bulldozer. And he was like, stop. Like, don't you understand? If you don't do it shoulder to shoulder and it's like you lean in their back or you start grabbing them and all of that, it's a foul. And at the level that we were playing at, if you gave someone a set piece, they're going to capitalize on it. Like, some people were like free kick specialists. So he had to take that out of my game quickly. So he just taught me like different skills. So I always used to think, if you're strong here, like chest, arms, that's how you're gonna like be able to barge them. And there's some truth to that, but your strength comes in your legs. So if you've ever watched me play, I shield stuff with my legs, just because that's the way that I got taught and it really worked for me. So with your arms, if you extend your arm, that is in London, I don't know, actually over here as well, that is a foul.
Yeah.
So if you extend your legs, that's not a foul, is it? So if you can protect your your body with your legs, most soccer players, they're the most strongest in their legs, because that's our key thing that we use. So I used to shield balls with my legs. Then obviously as you go older, you start being able to do it with your hands and that. But for me, I started cage, learned how to do it. Then I perfected my art through a series of clubs. Then Leighton Orient just kind of gave me the package.
And you'd get pretty low to the ground too, right?
Yeah. Just because, let's say the guy's bigger than you, if you're already low to the ground, all you can do is just dive. Everyone hates saying that, but you dive and basically it's a foul against you. But if you're upright, they can go through you quicker than you. The more lower you are, the better if you want to turn while they're trying to nudge you off the ball. You got a better center of gravity to actually perform moves under attack or under pressure. So I get low to the ground just because it helps me lock my legs into a stronger position. And also, if I feel like their nudge can also become a way for me to move out of a situation or move into a better situation, it helps me because I've got better low center of gravity to actually perform that move rather if I was up, right?
Gotcha. I remember back when you played at Rogers State, one of the things you would talk about that we kind of worked on, I want to share with the podcast people. You talked about having tunnel vision sometimes and taking off those blinders. What was that process like for you of getting better at that? And what was it like when you did have the tunnel vision, and then how'd you get a little better at that?
I feel like most of my tunnel vision was caused by pressure of wanting to win, wanting to be better than everyone else. So it's just like, if I had done everything myself, or I felt like I could do everything myself, but obviously you helped me a great deal. Coach helped me a great deal. My players helped me a great deal. And it was basically, I got tunnel vision. I believe that I got tunnel vision at that stage because I didn't trust everyone within my team, you know. And it wasn't because I didn't think they were good soccer players or blah, blah. It was because I always felt the pressure like, oh, that's Kevin. He hasn't scored in a while or he hasn't done something in a while. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me do something, you know. And it wasn't until our sessions and coach always telling me like, you can't do everything by yourself, stuff like that. And I was just like, I pass, like, for example, if I pass someone the ball, right, and I wanted it back, so I'll say 1-2. Sometimes I'll pass them the ball and they wouldn't do a 1-2 for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And they'll try to do something and then they'll lose the ball. That would frustrate me. So the next time I have the ball, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to pass you. I'm going to try and do it myself. But as you get older, your legs start deteriorating, I should say. So you're not like, you can't always do everything yourself. So our sessions helped a lot in terms of like trusting my teammates, which ultimately just like from this started going like that. And then to the point it was just gone. Like I'll just pass you the ball without even thinking. So thank you in that aspect.
So it's kind of like giving up control. You wanted.
Yeah. That's basically it. I got tunnel vision because I wanted to control the game. I wanted to be like the star guy and all of that. And I think also it's like we got a lot of good players on our team, you know. So sometimes I feel like if you feel like you're not doing enough or someone's not saying your name, you kind of feel overshadowed. So obviously everyone loves it when someone's like, oh my God, he's a great player, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like in the game, you get clouded. So instead of like passing to your friend that could basically allow them to score or they're in a better position than you, you don't want to do that because you want people to be like, oh my God, he dominated the game. But as I said,
You want the glory.
yeah, but soccer is not it's a team sport. So
Yeah, I think once I definitely saw improvement in you, and once you did start to pass it more, the team started to win more.
yeah, yeah, we did.
Let's talk a little about some of the mental aspects of the game. Where does your confidence come from? And have you ever had low confidence and it gotten better? Or have you always been a confident player? Tell me about how confidence.
Confidence comes, for me, confidence came by people well done, like remembering who I am. So like, for example, Midwestern State, when we played Midwestern State, the team knew who I was. Like the team knew who I was. And for me, Midwestern State was like, for me, me personally, I believe that was the best team we played. So for them to acknowledge me, I was like, yeah, I'm the guy. But so for me, that's where my confidence came. The lowest point that I was where I didn't really have confidence was my freshman year. Just because, as I said, I had to change my game style a lot just because it wasn't working. And I came in as a striker, but I wasn't scoring. And it wasn't like I wasn't scoring because I wasn't good enough. It was like I just couldn't score. So it was like, you're good enough, but you can't score. So what the heck is going on, sort of thing. And it's like, after a certain amount of games that you haven't scored, you could be assisting and all of that, but you came in as a striker. So that started eating away so bad, like so bad.
And
And
it's kind of like a catch-22 because, like, the less confidence you have, the less goals you score, and the less goals you
yeah,
score, the less
like,
confidence you have.
yeah, because it's like my freshman year compared to my sophomore year. My sophomore year was just like every game Kevin scored or assisted or done something. And it was just easy. My freshman year, I tried so hard to score and it was not working. And it was just like my confidence was basically gone. Like, honestly, I feel like if I didn't score that year, I don't think I would have been able to come back because I would have just felt so depleted. Like, so that was like my lowest time. And how I get confidence, obviously by scoring, you know, the team winning, that always boosted my confidence. And it sounds so like dumb and that, but like people saying good job or like, I noticed what you done, you know. So for example, Chris Sauder, this guy would run, this guy would defend for his life. And he didn't want nothing. He didn't want nothing, but it's like, I always had to tell him like, well done, or I noticed it. And I feel like it made a huge difference to him, you know, because if I was in his shoes and I was working my ass off and say I didn't score or nothing, but someone just came up to me, like anyone, and was like, I know what you done, well done. That to me, that is a goal to me. So that's a confidence booster for me as well.
So tell me about doing work off the pitch. What keeps you motivated to get better, to grind it out?
Oh, wait. I hate that I'm going to say this, but Jordan Watson. Jordan Watson made me want to be better just because he had this drive and it was just like insane. which became infectious because it's like, like when you're not doing something and like your teammate is out running or practicing shots because he wants to be better. And like, obviously you try to put it back in your mind, like, oh, he just wants to work hard, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't have to. And then the next game you play or the next training session, he is on fire and you're just lacking. And then you start thinking to yourself, what happens if I went out with him that day? So for me, it was that. Also, it was when we lost games, or even if we won and we struggled, and Larkin would lose his mind, and he would just be like, even if we won, but we didn't win like we should have won by a margin, or we didn't win nicely, or if that's even a word, he would just be upset, And it was like, you have to sit down and look at yourself and be like, hey, did I do everything in my power to achieve the goal? Even if we won, that's the thing, even if we won, or it was like, okay, you won, but could you have been better, basically? And I feel like when people start asking themselves that question, if you love the game and you love your teammates in that, you're going to do everything in your power to be better, which means grind. Scotty, I think it was Scotty, who said, talent takes you so far, especially in America. Like, everyone plays football at college level because they're talented, but that's not what takes you beyond. It's your work ethic, it's everything else, basically. Because obviously everyone's talented. So what makes you stand out, So I think that's what helped me. Jordan, Larkin, losing, winning, but winning badly. So, yeah.
Just realizing that maybe I didn't give it my all. I can give it a little more. I'm not living up to my potential, basically.
Yeah.
And just being honest with yourself about that too. And then seeing that, well, it's obviously paying dividends for Jordan if he's doing the extra work, and then you see the very next day the results. You're like, oh, I should have done that. I can do that. Why am I not doing that? Just because I choose not to. Let me choose to do it. Well, Kevin, this has been a great talk. I think this is a good place to wrap up.
Well, thank you.
I want to thank you so much for all the stories and wisdom and knowledge you've shared.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
It's been an honor, and hope to see you playing again pretty soon after this whole Corona thing's going on. So you're while you're here, you're in Claremore now. You're coaching some.
So I'm in Claremore still. Came back. I was the assistant coach for Claremore High School. My predictions, I wanted to go state. That was my biggest thing this year. I wanted to go stay with them, and I believe we were on track, and I also wanted them to enjoy it, pass it and enjoy it. So hopefully after everything's done, I think the season's over for everything now, but we go again next year, basically. And yeah, that's the thing. So this is my predicament right now. I still have offers to play, right? But I don't know if I want to play anymore. And it's not because I don't think I'm good enough or stuff like that. It's just, I feel like as you get older, other stuff start becoming equally as important or surpasses it, But in the back of my mind, I always have like, so many people will wish, dream to get the opportunity you have to play. So I don't know. Right now, I'm just torn into.
Yeah.
Torn into.
Well, you'll have to check it back in with us in a few months and see how Kevin is doing.
We'll do, we'll do. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your wisdom, helping me throughout the years, and being on your podcast.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Bye, folks.